all players and to ESPN Arkansas.
What's up, Edie? What?
I said, not much, just bumbling around.
So you guys just get here?
I'm totally me. I got here last night. I'm not even saying that on me. I just stayed at the Gateway hotels by the airport and just Uber because I'm over here for the day. Very quick pit stop.
In and out, baby.
Going to Denver once I get back. Fly out to go to Denver.
Well, see you.
It has.
See you.
And enough boosters that can carry some of the load, why it can't be back. I just think smart decisions have to be made. And I know we all feel the same way about Sam Pittman, but as you're watching this season unfold, and if the program doesn't seem like it's making that quantum leap, then you have to be realistic.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Well, we've been talking about Sam Pittman all week. Finally get to hear from the head hog later on today. We're going to hopefully get a chance to talk with Coach Talon Green, Camp Ball, Xavier Sori. Had a chance to already listen to Eli Drinkowitz this morning. Tommy, I'm going to be honest. I thought he was good. I thought he's the best coach of the bunch thus far. So we'll see what old Pit Boss has to say later on today. Final day here at SEC Media Days, Radio Row, College Football Hall of Fame. Wouldn't have been possible this week without the Stadium Shop on Razorback and Limburg Real Estate Team. How are you feeling this morning?
Well, I had to get up early, pack, do all the things that you have to do before you come down for the final day. So, like a lot of other people, I got my luggage sitting here next to the broadcast spot. So it's been a busy morning.
We checked out already?
Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
you can't go back to the room.
All right. I was going to say I packed up.
Well, you didn't leave anything.
No, I have not left anything. Luckily, so we're just about to talk with SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey coming up momentarily here on the morning rush. That was Paul Feinbaum in our open this morning. Just talk about Arkansas and the expectations for this year. So we'll jump into that a little bit as well.
All right, we are here at SEC Media Days. Our coverage presented by the Stadium Shop next to Ball Walker Stadium in Fayetteville, and also by the Limburg Real Estate Group. Be sure and download the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell. If you're wanting something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. We are glad to welcome in this morning Commissioner of the Southeastern Conference and a guy that's been as busy as anyone introducing coaches all week. If you've watched the SEC Network, Greg Sankey, Commissioner, thank you for taking a few minutes for us.
So I'm on Digital Drive. What happens, and you just saw it, is there's two things. One is I'll overhear the conversations. And somebody was just talking about their concern, but I didn't know what they're concerned about. And then I try to see if I have text message or emails to be addressed. Like last night when I finished about 7 o'clock, I'd gone to Major League Baseball All-Star Game and Home Run Derby, so I had like 80 emails. I just sat in my room, made a hamburger, and got it down to about 6. And I'm trying to catch up.
He's got Commissioner. He's got 406. And so on average, how many emails do you cycle through a day?
We're in the 100 easily, and I'm one who tried. I'm not obsessive about emptying the email inbox. I do hate the little red thing that shows you have text messages or voicemails, right?
Yes.
On the iPhone. But they'll fill up if you don't pay attention.
They do that.
How's the week went so far?
Well, I'm going to ask you guys the
Same thing. I think it's gone well. It moves along, so I'm not sure I'm the best evaluator because I go from thing to thing to thing. Monday and Tuesday, I start with my remarks, and then we have some video conferences. Wednesday and Thursday, I have talked nonstop on this headset. So people seem interested. At this time of year, there's optimism and hope around the season ahead. People are a little bit more relaxed than they'll be the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Or at least, the rest of the year since football goes through into December. But, excitement about what's ahead.
What have you been asked more about? Revenue sharing and how the league's going to do that. The playoff and what the format's going to be, or 8 versus 9 games. What are you tired of talking about?
The latter two have been the most. Playoff and our football schedule. And I'm asked about NIL and transfer portal and NCAA basketball tournament expansion as well. Those would be the top 5.
I thought Coach Drinkwitz had an interesting response when asked about
you never know.
when asked about the SEC and getting back on top, and he alluded to the draft picks. He alluded to the prior, I think he'd said 10 straight national championships and whatnot. You've reportedly had conversations with the Big Ten about a number of different things, college football playoff, possible alliance of sorts. What is that? What does that relationship look like between the SEC and the Big Ten?
We're always going to have different perspectives. We should be able to talk through those, and we talk pretty regularly. In fact, I owe Tony a return phone call today. Where we can agree, let's agree. Where there's little differences, let's work through those. Where there are big differences, can we work to, I don't know if a compromise, or can we work collaboratively to a destination that's better and is a piece of both groups' thinking? I think the expectation of leadership from the two conferences is what motivated a more, basically announcing publicly a more closely aligned relationship. That doesn't mean we're excluding people, but we're more intentional about our communication.
When Coach Kiffin or Coach Drinkwitz get up to the podium, who do you hold your breath for more? Do you get worried about?
Somebody texted me. He said he declined to comment on the Epstein files. I'm like, I didn't see that one coming today.
Jeez.
Anyone plead the fifth down there this morning?
Yeah. I think personality's fine. You think about
we need more of it.
We're not dull as a league, and those two guys will certainly add some spice to it.
How do you, as a guy that has to oversee a variety of different things, you alluded to something I think is important for college football to have some flamboyancy, have that personality. How do you balance like the respectability and that aspect and keeping composure like that with your coaches versus having a little bit of personality? Where's the fine line in that?
Well, one of my statements I've offered, it's good to be clever, but it's not always good to always be clever. So where are those lines drawn? And, insulting opponents, being disrespectful directly. We have expectations that you deal with officiating concerns directly and deal with those privately. I pivot to more of the positive. Your responsibilities, you want to be entertaining as you talk about your program, you talk about the game, you talk about the competition, and not be disrespectful. And when that line is overstepped a bit, we'll communicate in different ways. I try to do most of that privately.
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey with us here on the Morning Rush. Help us understand revenue sharing and how the league's going to approach this. Is each school going to determine how they divide their own money, or is the league going to have some standards? I know there was discussion in Destin. Help us understand from the outside what the process really is.
So it's a $20.5 million allocation.
Right.
We agreed as a conference to deduct the amount of new scholarships. It points the available money at about $18.5 million for the year ahead.
So that's not tacked on.
As a conference, we have not directed how that money is distributed. We have talked about that. We had a working group that looked at allocations, 70, 15, 5, 75. They looked at different allocations. Eventually in February said, look, we made some decisions in the fall pretty quickly on the heels of the settlement being presented and receiving preliminary approval, that if we had those decisions to do over after what we've learned, we would not have made decisions in that same way. So let's not rush to other restrictions. And so that slowed it down. We put
touched on this Monday. It's just been a few days, about where we're going to be with NIL in addition to rev share and what this conference is going to do. Help us understand how those two things will and won't still interact moving forward.
They're separate economic opportunities. One is defined within the athletics department. That's the revenue share. The outside name, image, and likeness activity is an area where we've probably talked about for years, and you've heard for years, we need guardrails around this. We need guardrails. Well, now we have guardrails. It is to be for a real business purpose with the appropriate range of compensation attached to that individual and that business purpose. We've created what's called the College Sports Commission to oversee this process. We've engaged Deloitte Consulting to develop what's called NIL Goal, which is the evaluative process that indicates whether those standards are met or not. And if something's not met and a deal is not approved under that system, there's then an arbitration process where the individuals can go through that's part of the settlement to either justify or fail to justify what they've presented. And that's a process. I think the question is, I can go back and find coaches quoting about how great NIL was going to be. Now I find coaches who say what a disaster it is. I can find coaches who came here and spoke publicly about needing guardrails. Now we have guardrails. Now the institutions, the athletic programs, and the teams have to operate within those guardrails. And if they don't, they need to hold themselves accountable first, then be held accountable by another entity if we can't achieve that kind of guardrail operation.
So when the Scores Act settles and Congress codifies and all these legalese terms, what do you see happening when all the dust settles with transfer rules? What do you think will be where we end up?
We're going through, there was a lawsuit brought by the West Virginia Attorney General, signed on by several others, I think Illinois and New York, where we were prepared to return at the conference level to a one-time transfer opportunity. Go make your decision, but once you're there, if you want to transfer again, you'll just serve a year residence. We're not going to tell you whether you can transfer or not. It's just about playing. And when the courts ruled that you couldn't limit the number, we pulled back. I think what needs to happen is we need to recognize we all still have an academic responsibility to the young people. What I think's happened with the transfer portal is I'll give you let's go back to the John Wooden era at UCLA. He had a guy named Andy Hill who wrote a book about his playing experience. And he was highly recruited, didn't play much, and actually spent years and years bitter, angry, didn't think about his experience, didn't have a relationship with Coach Wooden. He's in his 40s, he's leading a business, and he realizes every day he uses something he learned playing basketball for John Wooden at UCLA. That's the context of college athletics. That's the context of education. That's the context of being part of a community. Embedded in that is, hey, you make the great play, you hit the winning shot, you hit the home run. You have a legacy in that campus, in that community. And all of this transfer has taken that away. Let's go back to something that's tied to academic progress. And is it the Scores Act, or is it we just have to be bold and be prepared with the right rationale to defend a reasonable standard? Either way, we need to get to a different environment.
I missed the opener of your speech this week. Did you start with another Fast Times clip?
I did not.
Okay.
I did that one here a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, Jeff Spicoli.
Yep.
I'm here, you're here. It's our time.
Where does that rank in the all-time Greg Sankey movies? Fast Times.
Oh, it's entertaining. I don't even think it's in the top 10. There's some good laugh lines. I just happened to see it. Chariots of Fire, I think, is like at the top of mine. If you remember that movie from the 80s, the Eric Liddell story is just an awesome one. I think Back to the Future is one of the Back to the Future, the first one, is one of the best entertaining movies ever. But that's, I'm an 80s kind of person.
You've got a summer reading series that you've talked about before. What's the best book that's been on the coffee table this summer?
I read a book called Inner Excellence. I read that book because A.J. Brown was on the sideline for the Philadelphia Eagles reading the book during the NFL playoff game. And I'm like, wow, what's that? And I did a little bit of research. It's about performance, about focus. It was entirely appropriate. He had that book out with probably dog-eared pages and highlighting. And so that was a good book to just reset perspective on daily performance and preparation.
Well, Commissioner, we'll leave it there. Commissioner Greg Sankey of the Southeastern Conference. Appreciate it. First one this morning? He did?
No,
Okay.
this is like 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was on another radio station in Central Time, and I sat down and said, well, it's 8:45. Like 8:45. I'm only 45 minutes in. I'm exhausted already. So it's 8:45 Central Time.
Well,
Yeah.
appreciate you giving us some of your time this morning.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here.
All right, Greg Sankey, Commissioner of the Southeastern Conference Live. They call it Digital Drive. We're going to keep calling it Radio Row because we're radio stations.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're just going to be rebellious in that regard. But I don't think they're going to worry too much about it. Good to hear from the Commissioner here this morning. Brought to you by APAC and Standard Materials Group. If you need rock, asphalt, ready-mix concrete, help with planning a job site, big or small, they are there for you at APAC and Standard Materials Group. They are the #1 source for all of the aggregates, but also ready-mix concrete to your job site, asphalt for a driveway. They can help you, and they're all over our listing areas. 479-587-3300, 587-3300 for APAC and Standard Materials Group.
So we had a chance to listen to Brent Venables as well yesterday. And Colton, I can't see the screen, but anything that we got from Venables, Colton, stand out amongst the group?
He talked a little bit about former Parkview safety Omarion Robinson that's going to end up probably getting some playing time for a really stout Sooners defense. A little 10-second clip on that if you want that. Or he also talked about the fact – yeah, I got you.
And then man, Omarion Robinson is a guy that got here in January that has tremendous range, great instincts, natural safety as well.
We've talked about, again, in-state-wise has not gone well for the class of 2026. I think you've lost 3 straight #1 recruits in the state of Arkansas. Tommy, Oklahoma, not that you haven't had to fend off guys before. I think most notably Keith Jackson being probably the most prominent recruit in your state that left. But that's just another element with them joining the SEC that you're going to have to deal with from there on here on out.
Just another school to battle off, right?
To fend off.
Yeah, and, Commissioner Sankey talking a moment ago about I think the transfer rule, I mean, the rest is money. I thought 2 insights there. The pinned-up cost of the additional scholarships will be backed out of the rev share.
Yep.
I thought that's interesting because that's about a $3 million or $2 million cost as he laid it out. Put $18.5 million into the to the rev share for the players. The rest goes to the scholarship additions. Secondly, the transfer rule, and we talk about Missouri, we talk about Ole Miss, we talk about Luke Haas leaving to play for the Rebels next year. That's as interesting. I think that's as plugged in as we should. The most plugged in thing we should be as fans, because one of the things we're struggling with is connections with players. This would help that. This would help, I think, the excitement of the sport moving forward. So these stories and battles for recruiting and hanging on to your best player in state because the transfer rules aren't going to entice other schools to lure them away. I don't think it's so much about players want to leave now. I think the money and the enticement from the other institutions forced their hand.
Yeah. And
I can't speak for Luke Haas, but do you think he was unhappy with the situation at Arkansas and wanted to leave? I don't know. I can't answer that. Or how much of that was you think Ole Miss came in and lured him away? It's the tampering we got to shut down, and you shut down the transfer rules, and I think you improve that situation.
Yeah, I think that's an element that is frustrating for fans, not just across Arkansas, but you have this kid that you like or has success. I mean, the one that hurt me last year was T.J. Metcalf. I mean, T.J. had an awesome game against Auburn, and you felt like he was a bright young safety. And now him and his brother up in Ann Arbor, Michigan, playing for Big Blue. So it is, and does anyone believe he's making less in Ann Arbor than he is in Fayetteville? No. Does anyone believe that Jalen Braxton, Luke Haas, and Patrick Kudus are making less in Oxford than we're in Fayetteville? No. And there's other. Ole Miss had lost Quinshaw Judkins to Ohio State. I mean, that's another. So it's not like it's just that.
But you only get a one-time transfer, or you can leave and sit a year. He called it residence. We just call it sitting a year.
Yeah.
That's going to slow this down.
I think that makes that, to me.
That's the biggest issue. I think that we don't talk about that as the biggest issue, but that's really, I think, the biggest change that we could actually feel as fans and people that follow these teams is if you limit the transfers.
Yeah, because it feels like a situation where if a kid gets mad at a coach for whatever reason, he's just going to get up and leave. It's Pittman's talked about this, is the re-recruitment of your own roster. And I know Arkansas, I think it was they lost 40-something players this last year. And some of those, if I remember, the numbers factor into that were not just portal players, but obviously guys that graduated, guys going to the NFL, blah, blah, blah. But it's just a situation that not only here in Fayetteville, but I think a lot of, if not all coaches would be in favor of. It makes too much sense to me, which is why it's not going to happen.
I look at it from this player that's perfectly happy and had a good year, but another school comes in and offers another $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 for the next season. And now you forced them. You forced a player.
And the other element on that is like you say, well, I would stay true to Arkansas. I would with yourself. Be honest here. 9:19 this morning. Would you really, if someone else came through and offered you several $100,000 more for the currently job you're employed for, you're telling me you'd be that loyal to your company? I wouldn't. I'll be honest.
I mean, I couldn't blame you. If you came to me and said, "Hey, someone's offering me $200,000 more than I'm making now," I said, "Well,
they're overpaying."
I said, "Hey, if you don't take this will be the tale where two fools met. Yeah. You know, the one offering, the one declining." So, I mean, sometimes you just got to wish someone their best and move on.
That would be addition by subtraction.
You know, can I get a loan? I mean, right, I'm just saying, you take some of this away, where, hey, I only get to do this once. You think long and hard about it. Live at Radio Row, SEC Media Days in Atlanta, Georgia. Our final day here. Sam Pittman and three excellent players from Arkansas will be on hand here in just a couple hours. We'll be visiting with some of them, including Taylon Green, Arkansas's quarterback today, or quarterback this season. He'll be here today. Xavier Sorey, the outstanding linebacker, and defensive lineman Cam Ball, all on hand.
He'll get all SEC. Sorey will get third team all SEC, I think.
I think so. All of our coverage brought to you by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, the largest and best Razorback shop south of the North Pole. Grab your Nike sideline polos for the season, game day jerseys, and more. Do it in-store or online at shoponrazorback.com. And by the Limbird Real Estate Group, your number one real estate team in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. They're in Fort Smith now. Hey, when it comes time to buy or sell, go to LimberdTeam.com. LIMBIRD, LimberdTeam.com.
When is the last time that you could say your best player is a linebacker? I was thinking about that last night, amongst other things. So it's like, as an Arkansas fan, if you want to jump in and answer this question, do so. Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. I mean, you don't have to go back several years, but when is the last time as a Razorback fan that you could say your best football player was a linebacker?
Hey, plan your stays for this fall at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800. Call Jen this morning. She'll work on your reservation, get it done. Large, oversized suite. It won't take long. There's no phone tree to navigate either. 479-443-1800 or online at inatthemill.com.
All right, when we come back, Hog Update live from Radio Row, SEC Media Days.
Being a part of the Southeastern Conference, it means more than you might think.
SEC Media Days on ESPN Arkansas is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, the largest and best Razorback shop south of the North Pole. And by Limbird Real Estate Group, your number one real estate team in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt. We're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, your headquarters for all things Razorback.
From clothing items like Nike, Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many more,
to a wide range of home, office, and fan cave decorations.
We even have furniture, a pool table, stuff for the yard, garden, and too much other stuff to mention.
So no matter if you're headed to the game or watching from your living room, stop by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville. That's 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville.
Or call us at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486.
Or stop by the Interweb store at shoponrazorback.com.
Whoa, that's a first, Dad. You actually got it right. How'd you do that?
Well, I use that Googleator thing.
And we're back.
Anyway, that was shoponrazorback.com.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, and I have a plaque to prove it.
Folks, it just does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Well, you just have to be at the game and watch. I'm not going to tell you everything we're going to do with them.
You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith, or online at harryrobinson.com.
Equipment down, got a leak, lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
A lot of life can happen between sips of Dasani. You know, the life moments, big and small, that are worth getting thirsty for. Like organizing a family movie night under the stars. Or hearing an old favorite song and having an impromptu dance party. Or finding a new dinner recipe that the whole family loves. The crisp, clean taste of Dasani was made for all of life's thirst-worthy moments. Dasani, because life happens between sips.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Sharp Equipment is your one-stop shop for heavy equipment. Now with their new location in Van Buren on 3918 Pointer Trail East. Whether your machine's rattling, sputtering, or refusing to start, Sharp's got the parts and expertise to get you moving again. Looking for a new piece of heavy equipment? Look to Sharp Equipment, an authorized Wacker Newson dealer. Sharp Equipment has what you need. Come see Sharp at their new location in Van Buren across from Mid-South Steam Boiler, or call 479-649-0500 to see how Sharp Equipment will help you move more than just the world, but will help you move forward.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Summer is finally here, and so are the road trips that you've had planned. That's why it's time to visit us at Southern Tire Mart. Southern Tire Mart's expert service, competitive pricing, and top quality tires will ensure your vehicle is ready for all your summer adventures. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is prepared for the summer. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. Southern Tire Mart. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
There's only one Razorback.
All the time he loves the Razorbacks.
Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those. 7 down.
This one
belongs to the Razorbacks. Ball's on the ground, picked up by Colin. Alex has got room.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
I don't think it will happen this year. When we filled out the schedule, we kind of moved on from that.
That was John Calipari earlier this week in Little Rock, talking to the Rotary Club, right?
Yes.
Talking about the Arkansas-Baylor game. So I got news. Baylor Brad, who's listening this morning, and he is the one, I believe, that sent me this clip, actually. Doesn't sound like it's happening, according to Cal. It's kind of a bummer for my household, but, yeah.
There's still plenty on the non-con schedule.
No, I mean, non-conference schedule, just for my own household, I was a little bummed
understand.
about that. But, no, I mean, Houston, you think about Louisville coming into Bud Walton later on this season.
Yep.
Duke, Chicago. What am I?
Duke in Chicago.
Yeah, Duke in Chicago. I think there's one more because I think there's 5.
Well, you got the well, you mentioned Louisville.
Michigan State. Thanks, Cole.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's in East Lansing, isn't it? And they haven't finalized the Memphis not pregame. What's it called? Exhibition game.
Yeah.
It sounds like that's happening with St. Jude. So that's 5 or 6 right there. Not that don't not want to play Baylor because I'd like to play Baylor, but I think their strength of schedule heading into the SEC is going to be just fine.
No, they'll be fine, and some good tune-ups, good measuring sticks on your way to SEC play, which is going to be brutal again this year.
It has been interesting. So, first question I get asked is about Sam Pittman's job security here. Second's usually about Taylor Green, then it's the defense. But like 4th or 5th, it's people move on to basketball, and it's July.
I'm not sure it's 4th or 5th.
It might even be. It might even be earlier on the list. It's like, hey, how was year 1 of Cal? That's the main question, the main talking point of the kids. And as great as, and I say this, the postseason was really good. The ending sucked against Texas Tech, but I mean, you didn't really get to have that much fun during the regular season, right? I mean, you had the Kentucky win, but when you look at the regular season, yes, they got in the tournament. The most important thing, I would think. Maybe not non-conference team because Cal's teams usually take a while to mesh, but this team might be different because of how much returning production you have. I would think as an Arkansas basketball fan, it is going to be a fun, not just regular season, but postseason as well.
Well, sure hope so, and all these are memories. The memory of last year going to New York City, playing in Madison Square Garden, Barclays Center this year, like you're talking about with the game with Houston. So, I'm trying to finagle a way to go to Chicago for Thanksgiving, but that's a hard ask for a family right now,
I was going to say, I've had some people ask me about that the day of. It'd be one thing if it was like Friday or Saturday, but that's, again, trying to convince your significant other that, hey, we should spend the Thanksgiving a family holiday watching Hog basketball. Now, some would do it, but
I'm sure I'd be told, well, you can go.
Yeah, you can go by yourself. I'm not going to do that, even though I'd like to go to that game. I'm not going to do that to my family. All right, back to football again.
Maybe you should do it for your family.
Or for my family.
Maybe you should go for your family.
That's fair. Back to football. Sam Pittman, Cam Ball, Xavier Sorey, Taylor Green going to be here in Atlanta in about an hour or so. We did hear a head coach in this league, Hugh Freeze, talk about a current now Razorback in the back end. Here is what Hugh Freeze had to say about one of now your Razorbacks earlier this week.
He had a bright future, and I assume he's still working the way his work ethic was here, and I think he's a solid SEC football player, so I would expect him to contribute.
That's him talking about Caleb Wooden, who transferred to Arkansas in the offseason. I know Arkansas excited about him. I believe, if I remember the timeline correctly, there was a connection with him and Travis Williams. I think he played for T. Will. That was the connection there. So, again, you don't know a lot about your secondary. The two position groups that you would probably put up there, and maybe 3. It's the defensive line, it's the secondary, and it's the wide receiver group. Definitely questions on the back end for this team heading in this year. I would think he's going to be one of the key cogs for this group.
Absolutely. And, looking forward to hearing from 2 of your front 7 type guys today with Sorey at linebacker and Cam Ball. And I guess we could ask some barbecue questions too, couldn't we?
Yeah. if he's still moisturizing his meat.
Well,
I wish
I'll
we had
let you ask that one.
Okay,
So.
yeah, that would be something. That would be something I would ask. All right, that is your Hog Update here on a Thursday. Hog Update live from Radio Row at SEC Media Days, brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, you were looking at your phone at the break. What's the deal with the Open right now?
4
Who's doing
under
what?
is the lead. There's like 4. Let me pull it back up. Jay Sklav Olsing. I mean, you get players in this you've never heard of before. 4 under par. Chinese player Lee is at 4 under. Matt Fitzpatrick, and it's not Michael Jordan. Who is this? Matthew Jordan. It just says M. Jordan. It's not Michael. 4 under, and then 3 under. Top leader or top on the leaderboard for the Americans, Scotty Scheffler, 2 under par through 16. So not a lot of red, white, and blue at the top of the Open right now. 4 under with 3 different players tied for the lead in round 1 of the Open Championship.
We'll keep you updated throughout the morning. What time did that start? Tee time?
Way early this morning. I don't know. I watched
is
a
that
little
4
bit.
or 5 a.m. type
yeah,
of
they're
thing?
5 hours ahead of us. So,
Okay.
yeah. Royal Portrush in Northern Ireland right now.
What would you shoot there?
Oh, I don't think I could break 100 from the championship tees. I mean, and that win. I'm going to Scotland next April. Good Lord willing, and the creeks don't rise. So
hopefully it doesn't rain.
It's not Ireland, but it will rain. It will. I'll be ready.
All right, Morning Rush Daily Question when we come back live from Radio Row in Atlanta.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I'm just praying for the Lord to deliver me from pick sixes. That's not me.
This is the Morning Rush.
Fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert.
And this is Matt. We're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, your headquarters for all things Razorback.
From clothing items like Nike, Champion, Cutter and Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many more,
to a wide range of home, office, and fan cave decorations.
We even have furniture, a pool table, stuff for the yard, garden, and too much other stuff to mention.
So no matter if you're headed to the game or watching from your living room, stop by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville. That's 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville.
Or call us at 479 Stadium. That's 479-782-3486.
or stop by the interweb store at shoponrazorback.com.
Whoa, that's a first, Dad. You actually got it right. How'd you do that?
Well, I use that Googleator thing.
And we're back.
Anyway, that was shoponrazorback.com.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, and I have a plaque to prove it.
Folks, it just does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hawks.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6 inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
How do you write women so well?
I think of a man, and I take away reason and accountability.
This is the Morning Rush.
Up to $11,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $11,000 off, or take 4.9% for up to 84 months. Lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer and go 0 to 60 in under 3.9 seconds for as low as $9.99 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home, quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Are you ready to indulge in an unforgettable fine dining experience? Then come join us at Uncorked, where every meal is a masterpiece, crafted with the finest ingredients to tantalize your taste buds. And with our extensive selection of cocktails, wine, craft beer, and bourbons, we've got something for everyone. So why not take a break from the ordinary and join us on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodi's? Come savor the moment with us at Uncorked, where every visit is a celebration.
At Wave Rural Connect, our mission's simple: improve the quality of life in our communities. We've expanded to several non-member areas to help new communities. If you live in areas near Altus, Branch, Coxville, Mountainburg, Murray, Spur, or Ozark, Wave Rural Connect may be available to you right now. Check availability online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Wave Rural Connect will continue opening new areas throughout 2025.
Big changes are coming. In order to serve you better, Metters Lumber is joining Ace Hardware. We will remain locally owned and operated so you can expect the same great service, but with lower pricing and better selection. We'll have exciting new brands to serve more of your needs. Come by and check out our deeply discounted merchandise as we make room for new products at Metters Lumber Company in Alma, Ozark in Clarksville.
Make hay while the sun shines with Kubota hay equipment from Gray Brothers. By quality-built Kubota disc hay mowers, known for their durability and beautiful cut. Kubota hay rakes and, of course, the BB Series Kubota round baler. Couple it with Kubota's N-Series cab tractor with 75 to 168 horsepower, and you'll have the prettiest hay on the market. With savings from Gray Brothers and special financing from Kubota, today is your day for a new Kubota at Gray Brothers Equipment at Fort Smith and Photo, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Time for the Carpat Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
I want to circle back to something we were talking about earlier in the show. We had SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey on. We were talking about all of the things that
Fast Times, Back to the Future.
we talked about that too, but we also talked about, just, hey, go to the horse's mouth, right? We had the horse's mouth right here. Where are we at with rev share? Where are we at with a variety of things, including NIL rev share, and then we ask about transfers as well. As a fan, because we can't really do anything about rev share, we can't really do anything about NIL, we're all just trying to make ends meet. But should our biggest concern be where we land as a sport with the transfer portal? Because I still contend, just connections with players, knowing your roster as intimately as we've always known it as a challenge because players are on the move so much, is when this house agreement and the settlement and all this, finally the dust settles, is that the biggest aspect for a fan is, hey, a player only gets one transfer in their time and then they've got to sit a year? Is that what we should all be paying attention to more than anything right now? That's the Morning Rush Daily Question, brought to you by CartPath Social.
It's definitely up there. I think most people would still say money's the top of the list.
Yeah, but what can we do? I mean, not that we can do anything about the transfer portal, but at least we can invest emotionally in a player if they come to your school, because you feel like there's a very high likelihood that they'll stay if the rules, and I hate to say limit a player, but hey, you got to make decisions in life. And you got to stick with your decisions.
So think about the three guys that are here for SEC Media Days for Arkansas. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and pump rainbows and sunshine and heading what to the season looks like, but can you imagine not having Talon, Cam, and Xavier back for this team? And I would guess.
Can you imagine still having Luke Haas with you for this season? I mean, the portal has giveth and it has taken. It's gone both ways. But at the same time, I think we're all reserved and guarded. I think the portal is the issue we really need to focus on more than just, hey, how much money do we have to throw around here? Mm-hmm. Which is going to be equal to everyone else's.
Well, the point I was making is, again, those three guys are back. Talon transferred from Boise State. Xavier transferred from Georgia.
Right.
Cam's been here since he got here. I would guess, I don't know this for a fact, but I would guess that all three of those guys probably were approached either by a third party or someone else about potentially transfer because they're good. They're quality SEC players. Xavier's the best player on their team. Cam's a quality SEC caliber defensive tackle, and I think Talon is a top 7 or 8 quarterback in this league. There are other teams that would probably trade their quarterback for Talon Green, I would guess. So, yeah, I think it's from the emotional aspect, the connection that you were talking about. Yeah, it is important just to have that. When we talk about continuity with coaching staffs, you also want to have some continuity with your fans as well.
Follow-up question. Is that what's in the best interest for Arkansas to win in football? Is it because it may not be the same in baseball or basketball, but is it to Arkansas's best interest that, hey, players get a one-time transfer without sitting a year? Is that rule, would that be beneficial or would you say, well, with your limited recruiting and even footing with rev share, maybe you wouldn't be better off? It just seems like you don't want to serve as a farm club to other SEC schools. So that's the perspective I'm coming from is I don't want to be a farm club where every good player Arkansas gets, finds a diamond in the rough and develops, ends up elsewhere because they're tampered with and enticed by more money.
I think it was my buddy Zach that put out a social media tweet about how Lane Kiffin is using Arkansas as that farm school, and he retweeted it. Now he took it down, but that's like that. Unfortunately, is how you feel about Ole Miss, and I don't know if where the talks were with Braylon when he entered the transfer portal, but I mean he took 3 guys last year. He took Chris Pupal the year before, and there were some people that thought that Braylon Russell was going to wind up in Oxford as well.
Yeah.
So that's 4 players in the last 2 years. Could have been 5, potentially. So, yeah, I think that Arkansas has unfortunately been on the wrong side of that. But, again, you think about Drew Sanders. You think about Landon Jackson. You think about Xavier Sori. You think about Talon Green. It's not like you haven't benefited from that.
Yeah. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily Question. What do you think? You can call or text on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. Our question every day is presented by Cart Path Social.
Yep, #1 indoor golf destination in all of Arkansas, 122 Grant Place in Lowell, right across from Atwoods. If you want to take in just some fun, you can do so, especially during July when the bays from 9 to 5 during July are just $25. Yes, $25 an hour. That is marked down a lot, so take advantage of the best indoor golf facility. 2 Rogers guys, Christian Olson, Nate Garehan, they put together an awesome place right in our own backyard. Corporate events, birthday parties, you name it, they can do it. Go to cartpathsocial.com. Again, cartpathsocial.com. Did you watch any of the ESPYs last night?
Did not.
Okay.
Not a second. I'm proud of it.
I didn't watch any of it, but Shane Gillis was the host last night, Colton. Unfortunately, there's a lot of the jokes that we can't really play on the air, but he did have some fun with Travis Hunter. Take a listen.
There's one thing I want to say before I get out of here, and this is a dumb joke. You guys aren't going to like it, but it's just a Norm Macdonald joke that I loved when he hosted the ESPYs, and I'm going to do it now. Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year. He's the first defensive player since Charles Woodson to win the Heisman. Congratulations, Travis Hunter, winning the Heisman. That's something they can never take away from you, unless you kill your wife and a waiter, in which case they can take that away from you.
He's so off the wall, and some of the stuff that he says last night. But it was actually, I watched the clips this morning. It was pretty funny. I just didn't take it in last night.
Well, the ESPYs was designed to fill the gap between the All-Star game and baseball resuming when it was the driest day in sports in our calendar year. The only day you didn't have something going on. It still serves its place, but I don't know. I've never been one to connect. They've kind of been out there on on an edge for me, on the ledge for me too much.
So later on during the show, we're going to have on Alyssa Lane, SEC Network, ESPN. Also, I think Tom Murphy's going to join us. We're going to get a chance to talk with Sam Pittman, Cam Ball, Xavier Sorey, and Taylor Green a little before when they start doing their national media rounds. Sam usually is pretty good in these type of situations, has a joke, cracks one or two. I'm curious. I think one of the questions I have this week is it's obvious. Like he's not oblivious that there's not a ton of optimism heading into this season from the fan base, and quite honestly, it's the lowest it's been. Like you think about like anything would have been better than Morris when he took over in 2020, and he gave you hope. 3 SEC wins. You should have had 4 or 5 in year one. Maybe they were ahead of schedule in year 2, and then unfortunately they've kind of backtracked a little bit in years 3, 4, and 5. I just wonder what his kind of thought process is heading into today, and what he's emphasizing for this Arkansas fan base, red meat of sorts, later on.
All right, so more from SEC Media Days. We're live on Radio Row. All of our coverage presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback and by the Limbird Real Estate Group. We're also brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. The summer clearance sale is going on right now. They've got above-ground, in-ground plunge pools with the fiberglass pools and hot tubs all on sale right now at Burton Pools and Spas. In fact, you can get a 7-person hot tub for under $8,000 right now, $74.99 during this summer clearance sale. Plunge pools start at under $40,000 right now. So don't miss the deals. It's the summer clearance sale. Burton Pools and Spas, 4 locations now to take care of you. They are in Springdale. They are in Fort Smith. They opened a location a couple years ago in Greenland and now in Hot Springs as well. Burton Pools and Spas, online at burtonpools.com. Water for a better life with Burton Pools and Spas.
You were kicking around a fun idea earlier. If you had a chance to beat Notre Dame and Texas, would you just take 5 wins?
Yeah. Would you trade 7 wins for 5 if 2 of the 5 were Texas and Notre Dame? Now, those thoughts really don't. It's a sports radio barstool type conversation, because that means you've lost to somebody you really shouldn't have lost to. But how many fans would sign up for that? Well, we beat Texas and Notre Dame, but we only went 5 and 7. That probably wouldn't hold much water with some, but there'd be some people who'd trade their ticket in for that.
Where's Missouri, with Drinkwitz speaking today, where's Missouri rose to the level of where do you want to beat them just on the schedule? Like Texas is obviously going to be 1, Notre Dame's 2. It's not often that you have a non-conference opponent that you want to beat more than almost every single conference opponent on your schedule. I think that's pretty consensus. Texas is still 1, Notre Dame's 2. LSU's probably 3. Ole Miss is 4. Is Missouri 5?
Well, okay, let's just talk about getting to 7. All right, Alabama, Arkansas State, Memphis. Just give you those 3, right? Then I'll give you Mississippi State and Auburn. There's 5. Tell me how you get to 7 without a Missouri. I mean, and that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a game of consequence.
Yeah.
It's the point I'm trying to set up. But being bowl eligible or getting to maybe that 7, and man, if things have fallen your way, and instead of a putt lipping out during the year, it goes in the hole, and you get one, you steal one at Tennessee again, you get one at Ole Miss, man, maybe you could get to 8 in that game. That'd be gravy. But that game's going to mean a lot. And being at the end of the year, it's going to have an extra big meaning. I don't know that Arkansas and Missouri will ever play where a playoff spot's on the line regularly, where a conference championship's on the line. I can't foresee some of the things you had with LSU in the past. But I think the more drinks there, the more he talks, the more he runs that mouth. These things take time to mature.
He's got a little bit of Spurrier in him, and I used to get annoyed. I'm one of the other elements that we talked about in Ole Miss is that we always talk about the in schools. You're addressing Missouri there and beating them. Is it a benefit or a hindrance that they play Kentucky the week before they play you? Like I keep going back and forth. It's like, well, you have a couple, and I don't. Arkansas State is not a cupcake because I think they want to play you, but they have Kentucky before they play you in Oxford, and they go to Lexington for that game. And I can't figure out if I think that's a good thing or a bad thing when you match up against the Rebels week 3.
Well, they owe Kentucky one, so hopefully there's a lot of mental, work put into that game as well. A lot of mental exhaustion coming out. If you haven't downloaded the Bet Saracen app, do that in the Apple app or Google Play Store. You can find all the exact lines and plus wins plus lines that are available right now with the Bet Saracen app. Also, odds to win the SEC title right now. You can take Arkansas plus 15,000 to win the SEC title. So $100 gets you 15 grand right now. Bet Saracen, the #1 mobile sports betting app in Arkansas. Find out why. Bet Saracen. Get all the details at betsaracen.com.
All right, when we return, we'll chat with our friend Tom Murphy, Alyssa Lane, also coming up in the next hour of the Morning Rush.
Fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt. We're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville, your headquarters for all things Razorback.
From clothing items like Nike, Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many more,
to a wide range of home, office, and fan cave decorations.
We even have furniture, a pool table, stuff for the yard, garden, and too much other stuff to mention.
So no matter if you're headed to the game or watching from your living room, stop by the Stadium Shop at 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville. That's 989 South Razorback Road in Fayetteville.
Or call us at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
or stop by the Interweb store at shoponrazorback.com.
Whoa, that's a first, Dad. You actually got it right. How'd you do that?
Well, I use that Googleator thing.
And we're back.
Anyway, that was shoponrazorback.com.
The largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, and I have a plaque to prove it.
Folks, it just does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hawks.
Largemouth bass will be spawning soon at ponds and lakes all over Arkansas and Oklahoma. One of the best lures to catch them on at this time is the famous Yum Dinger. We make them by the truckloads in Fort Smith in 3, 4, 5, and 6-inch sizes, and they are in tackle boxes of bass anglers all over the U.S. and all over the world. Wacky rigging the 5-inch model can't be beat for spawning bass. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Yum Dinger.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
This is the Morning Rush.
The summer sales drive continues at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, save up to $6,000 off retail value on your next road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle, reconditioned and backed by limited warranty. We've got you covered for your service needs as well, with half-off brakes and special financing available for those larger repairs. With our live market painless pricing and non-commissioned sales staff, we're committed to taking the hassle out of buying a quality pre-owned vehicle in the River Valley. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has raked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get ready for the 53rd Annual 4-Ball Tournament at Ben Garen Golf Course, July 19th and 20th. 2 days of great golf, fierce competition, and unforgettable fun. Just $230 per player includes lunch, drinks, and a Titleist gift card as your tee gift. Grab your partner and compete in one of the area's longest-running traditions. It's best ball, so bring your A game. Register now before it's full. Call Ben Garen Golf Course at 479-646-5301. When you think golf, think Ben Garen.
The difference between an average morning and a Hardee's morning is hearty goodness that lasts till lunchtime. Like Hardee's smoked sausage biscuit. Split Hillshire Farm smoked sausage on a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. And our Frisco breakfast sandwich with cherrywood smoked bacon or ham on toasted sourdough. Hardee's, goodness in the making. Download the app and join my rewards for special offers. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, a chance of seeing some scattered showers and thunderstorms across the north. Otherwise, lots of sunshine, a high low to mid-90s. Mainly clear to partly cloudy tonight, and overnight low in the low 70s. And we could see a few isolated showers and storms across the north again on Thursday. A high low 90s north, upper 90s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Colorworks. Whether it's the weather or just life, call Andy at Colorworks Paint and Body for all your auto body repairs. Big or small, old or new, they are the choice for auto body repair.
PRX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 44 days.
This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
I grew up in Memphis across the river, and I remember Arkansas as a power. And I think Arkansas has to be a power again. I think it's capable. There's no reason that this program, with as fervent a fan base as it has, and enough boosters that can carry some of the load, why it can't be back. I just think smart decisions have to be made, and I know we all feel the same way about Sam Pittman, but as you're watching the season unfold and if the program doesn't seem like it's making that quantum leap, then you have to be realistic.
Live from the Busch Light Studios, this is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Hey, it's hour number 2 of the Morning Rush Live Radio Row SEC Media Days, Atlanta, Georgia, College Football Hall of Fame. And usually we get to chat with our friend Tom Murphy on the phone, which is always fun. But it's nice to see him in person this week. And we'll talk with him a little bit coming up here live in Atlanta.
Yeah, Tom, in just a second, all of our coverage here in Atlanta presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback. You can shop everything online at shoponrazorback.com or see them in store next to Baum Walker Stadium in Fayetteville. Also by the Lindbergh Real Estate Group, your number one real estate team in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. Hey, when it's time to buy or sell, go to LindberghTeam.com. That's LIMBIRD, LindberghTeam.com. Also, want to remind you before we get to Tom, this weekend's going to be another fun one at Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue, next door to Sodi's in Fort Smith. Great afternoon to sit on the patio. Great afternoon to take in maybe one of your favorite bourbons or maybe a glass of wine. They've got it all for you at Uncorked on Phoenix. Reservations are at uncorkedthefort.com. Always recommend having those. And you want to follow on Facebook. If you want to try something that's different and you like peaches, and the hot weather, try their peaches and creamed grilled brochet sprinkled with sugar and drizzled with honey. That just sounds delicious talking about it. Then topped with their Uncle Nearest brown sugar glazed peaches and whipped cream. It looks outstanding on top of that pork chop there in their pictures on their Facebook page. So try all of that out. It's all at Uncorked, Phoenix Avenue, next to Sodi's in Fort Smith.
You know, you guys were cracking me up during the break as Tom Murphy with us, Whole Hog Sports Arkansas Democrat Gazette, and you bring up the peaches and cream.
Yeah.
Tom here has a zero sugar Dr. Pepper strawberries and cream.
Yeah.
Based. What are we giving that, Tom, out of 10?
My first sip was pretty solid, man.
Okay.
But I would be happy to join you guys at that Uncorked one night. That sounds
It's a good
like
spot.
A fun
It is a great
deal.
spot. It is a wonderful
Scott and
spot.
them do a really good job.
Yeah.
Also, one more off the wall question before we get into football. You know, it's funny. you're talking about the Uber driver to and from the All-Star game. Last night, he hadn't had the varsity yet. So we went to the varsity famous.
Yes. Well, we were going to stop there the other night coming back. They had just closed. And
you were serious about going to the varsity.
I've never been. So, yeah. I ate one hot dog at the game. We hadn't eaten before. It was about 9:45 when we finally, 10 o'clock when we got in the Uber. I was hungry. You were hungry. We both came back and had a way overpriced ham sandwich at the
but it was actually tasty. It was a boar's head.
Yeah.
Mine was good.
It was good, but I don't know if it was $28 worth. But anyway.
He was cracking me up last night. We go there. We both get a chili cheeseburger and a chili dog. I got fries. He got onion rings. But what's funny is he was telling me the story of the Uber. It's like, I like this guy. He drives. He's aggressive. He's this. And apparently that was y'all's Uber to the game, but back it was like slow as molasses.
Normally Uber drivers aren't that slow anywhere I've been, but she was very cautious. But, hey, safe, so that's good.
Safe's a good thing.
We'll get to Sam Pittman in a minute. They're probably in the building already, or if not, they'll be here.
I heard they've landed.
In any moment. But we heard from Eli Drinkowitz, Missouri head coach, earlier this morning. He led off the day. We got Mark Stoops talking now downstairs. But what were your takeaways from Drinkowitz, who showed a little bit of personality this morning?
Big time. He was feeling his oats. He was basically commenting during reporters' questions with Pat Forty, who introduced himself. He goes, Mizzou grad, which is true. And I asked him, because his opening comments were that coaches are up here. You're tired of coaches whining.
I heard your question, yeah.
So I'm like, well, you mentioned coaches whining. Are you talking about portal stuff, the cap? But he's like, nah, none of that. He didn't really touch the question.
He paused. I think the question caught him off guard. I was listening, and I'm like, ooh, because he kind of pauses. And I couldn't – I was up here, but I was listening on the headset.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell whether – because I couldn't read the body language, whether it irritated him or whether it caught him off guard.
It's a thoughtful question from Tom.
Well, yeah, but I'm not sure what his response was.
I think he just decided not to dive into portal and – whatever.
He gave you a vague answer.
Very vague, but think about it. If you dive into it, how deep do you go? Because like the guys who think tampering's going on and people are overspending and all, they're going to say a lot of stuff. So I think he just decided to. But he did elaborate more on Pat Forty's question about 8 or 9 teams in the playoff, and said Commissioner Sankey, who's sitting right over here, would not like him for saying that. So he's like, what's best for the players and what have you. But I actually didn't listen to everything he said about it, but apparently he didn't think Greg Sankey would like it.
I don't know if you caught Brett McMurphy's report that the Big Ten is just being like, hey, we're not going to move forward with the college football playoff, what the SEC wants, until they go to a 9-game schedule. Oh. And he says, and we had Commissioner Sankey on this morning, and he said that he still has owed Tony Petitti a call back, the Big Ten commissioner. And I just asked him, like, what's the relationship like between you and the Big Ten? And he mentioned, well, there's something, paraphrasing, there's some things we see the same on, there's others we don't. What do you think that is like behind the scenes, considering the Big Ten has won the last 2 national championships?
Well, so they've got some leverage, but the SEC's got plenty of leverage as well.
Yep.
And unless the money comes from ESPN, which is basically telling them we're not sure if we can up our deal with you guys to add the 9th game, I don't think the SEC is going to move.
Well, and interesting, because who was set up here a day or two ago and promoting their new direct-to-consumer platform, ESPN.
Yes, they were.
They're changing their business model, and I've got to believe it's part of their way to generate more revenue by cutting out the middleman, which would be your Hulu, your YouTube TV, your Cox Cable, your DirecTV or Dish, direct-to-consumer from ESPN to get their packages is the movement they're headed towards, and I'm sure part of that's to figure out how to raise more cash when the antes are upped.
I bet it is, because it sounds to me like they're a little bit of loggerheads. The SEC's like, we're this powerful entity, and we're not going to go to 9 games just to please you and have an agreement on what the playoff's going to look like moving forward.
Yeah, because financially, or at least the last time we heard what the finances would be, adding that 9th game would only add about $3 to $4 million per school.
But it would cost you a home game every other year.
Yes.
And those home games generate, even if it's Alabama A&M, they're generating $5 million.
I just don't – I think there's more cons than pros for moving to a 9-game, to be honest. And I'm also looking at from the Arkansas vantage point. I know what coaches may say publicly but privately. And you correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think Sam Pittman's on the record of saying he would rather – and I'm paraphrasing – he'd rather stay at 8, right?
Basically. But he's kind of like whatever the flow is. If it's 9, they'll live with it. But I do believe them, and a lot of other schools would prefer 8. And the gist I'm getting here even from Greg Sankey, is that they're perfectly willing to stay at 8 because it has suited them getting teams in the playoff and what have you.
What's the plus of 9? I mean, because like you said, financially it's not maybe over a 2-year period it lifts you $2 million as a school. That's not enough to motivate you, because as a coach, all you're doing, if you support 9, unless you're Kirby Smart, or unless you're the old Nick Saban, unless you're the most secure guy in the world, maybe Steve Sarkisian a little bit now, you're just signing up to get fired. And you look at Arkansas's 30-year record in the SEC, we all know it's not good. Why would you sign up for more of that?
Exactly, and that's why I asked Greg Sankey, was there momentum to either way, 8 or 9? He didn't really answer the question, but he said our schools already, some of them like Florida and South Carolina might have 10 Power 5 games or Power 4 every year anyway.
Yeah, Florida plays Florida State.
And they're basically mandated to play a Power 4 non-conference, so that's 9 automatic. And some of them play 10. So he was basically defending preemptively against the Big Ten in, we don't feel like we need to move to 9. So
all right, so later this afternoon, Sam Pittman's going to talk to the media in the main room. I think that's 1 o'clock, if I remember right. And the players, we're going to meet with players and Coach Pittman downstairs. What do you think his message will be today? When we listen to Sam Pittman just after lunch, what will he be trying to express about his program?
We talk about this very thing on the air quite a bit right here, and that's how do you generate excitement about feeling good about the prospects for Arkansas football this year. They're going to be picked very near the bottom, and with all the player turnover, can you stay cohesive? Do you have enough depth and all that kind of stuff? So things like that. Arkansas was second in the conference in total offense last year. You can win games doing that, but they have to be better defensively. So questions about defensive depth, and I'm interested to hear a little bit further take on transfer portal and just updated things like that.
You mentioned defensive depth. Tommy, you know this roster better than Tommy and I do. Cam Ball, Xavier, I think everyone knows those two guys. They're obviously here. They're going to get some pub this week. Who is the main, outside of Cam, who's the guy on the defensive line you think is going to have the biggest year for Arkansas? And on the back end, I mean, that's the biggest question mark at the defense. Who would you point to there?
Yeah, it really is, both of those. And I don't know. I think they're going to have to be super creative, and their linebackers are going to have to be sent, or DBs, in the pass rush to –
like Sanders a couple years ago.
Exactly, to keep quarterbacks on the move or have them look for the rush. And I just don't know who on the current roster. Maybe Oki or some of these defensive ends. Quincy Rhodes has a chance to be an impact guy, but he's got to be, an improved guy.
Him and Charlie Collins, I think North Little Rock
and
Little Rock Mills are the two, if our schools they went to, if I remember that right. Phil told me this yesterday, and I had no idea. So they had 15 forced turnovers this past season. 10 of those were Auburn and Mississippi State.
Yeah.
So 2/3 of your entire turnovers were in 2 football games last year.
It was just a huge discrepancy. Some of the games they were losing in tight games, they were forcing 0 turnovers. Yep. But the two of the games they win, they have the massive amount. So they've got to have better distribution and more in every game. Back end, I think Shakur Smalls, the new safety, Miguel Mitchell and Larry Worth, all these guys are going to have to play well. And their cornerbacks really have to hold up. And it has to be deeper than Selman Bridges and Jaheim Singletary. It's got to be some of the new guys, some of them whom were hurt in spring.
Who's the kid they brought in from Stanford? Pretty highly recruited. If I remember right, he might have been the highest DB in the portal. And I'm blanking on his name. Julian Neal. Thank you, Colton.
Yeah, he's got to be a player for them. Just to create some depth, just to create guys who get their hands on balls, who can win 50-50 type balls. So many things have to go right, but I don't know. There's been times where Sam Pittman and the staff have put it together. I mean, the Tennessee game, they had some big upsets in 21, obviously, the Texas game. So, there's a chance, but a lot of things will have to fall into place, I think, for them to really be impactful.
Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, Whole Hog Sports with us here. Let's talk about Taylon Green staying healthy. Arkansas has not survived a lot of seasons with a starting quarterback starting all 12 games in recent years. KJ Jackson, is he the number 2, and how does it change the offense if Taylon Green can't go in all 12 games?
I think he's the number 2. Talon did start all 12. He just happened to go out in 2 and didn't return against Tennessee and Ole Miss, one of which resulted in, Malachi Singleton leading the team down the field for the touchdown that won the game. The difference with KJ, we haven't seen him as a runner, like other than in practice reps. So can you carry on the same offense? I would think that Bobby Petrino has a very nice package that highlight all of his best traits that they can go to, because you don't go into a season without having that. But you do want to keep Talon healthy. The problem being he's long and angular, and so his knees. I really hated. I really got onto the Tennessee kid, and I forgot his name, who dove and landed low. And he also did something later in the year in the Kentucky game. A quarterback was running out of bounds, and he kind of high-pointed him and dropped him. So I didn't like that kid. But keeping Talon Green healthy is a big day. But he's going to run so much, and it's such a weapon for Arkansas that you just have to run that risk-reward deal.
What's A.J. Green going to factor in the team? I mean, I remember him freshman touchdown against Texas. He had that long run against BYU the next year, and then he obviously transfers to State, suffers that season-ending injury. What role is he going to play, Tom?
I hope he does. He's a great kid. I loved it when he was here before. I think they mentioned in spring he looked a little bit big, and Bobby Petrino specifically referenced he's got to play. He's a fast guy. He's got to play to his speed. So I think Braylon Russell and Washington are pretty solid 1A kind of guys. So he's got to be able to beat out some other guys to be number 3. He's a big bonus to me in pass catching. So hopefully they can find a package where he catches the ball. And he's a good runner too. So I hope they find a role for him.
Camp's going to open in less than 30 days. Well, I guess less than 3 weeks now at this point, where we're at in the calendar. How do you think this comes together? We're still trying to answer the question at wide receiver. I don't know how – we got to watch a lot of spring ball. I don't know how much the media is going to have eyes on what's happening in the fall. My guess is limited to none. Maybe a Saturday scrimmage once. But the biggest question that we're going to have for Alabama A&M, I still think and maybe we'll get a little more insight on Cisse's injury today, but it's got to be at wide receiver.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right on your projected media access in fall, because in years past, I don't think we've seen a lot at all of fall ball. So we'll find that out. But I
can't imagine Bobby Petrino signing up for open practice as the coordinator.
Not open practice. And, even up to the stretch, at least you can get your eye on the team a little bit. But what they don't want is reporting on who's not participating. And you can get that if you watch the team stretch. But I think you're right about the receiving core. Cisse, hopefully we get an update today on how long they think he might be out, the severity of the broken wrist. But, yeah, I mean, they did nominate Omega Blake and Cam Shanks and Raylan Sharp for all-conference. I don't know if you guys have looked at the all-conference deal, but those 3 were nominated. So, at least from Arkansas's perspective, they anticipate Omega Blake and the 2 who you think of as more slot guys, Sharp and Shanks, as being SEC worthy.
The deal with Blake is, you ask South Carolina people, they thought he was going to be a big factor in Columbia, and it just didn't pan out. Goes to Charlotte, does what he does there. Raylan's played in the Bobby Petrino system. Cam was an All-American punt return specialist last year. So, listen, there's a lot of questions about guys, but at least there are some accolades that they have heading in.
So we're going to have players on the All-SEC team that have never played the preseason that have never played it down in the SEC.
Yeah,
that may be the case. I was voting for some offensive linemen and some DBs today that they have a name and they have a team, but I'm like, I'm not really sure. But you get timed out if you don't finish it quickly. So some of mine were a little bit crapshoots, but I think they've got to find an outside guy, a guy who can beat with some speed, and maybe Omega Blake winds up being a real key guy. I hope so. But it seems to me like Sharp will start the season with a good shot, because Bobby Petrino loves those crossing routes, and I think Sharp is going to be able to beat some corner, some nickels, and guys like that who cover the slot, who are going to give him the opportunity to catch it on the run, and Petrino loves that kind of play calling.
Tom Murphy, Arkansas Democrat Gazette, Whole Hog Sports. Thanks for joining us. We'll we'll wrap it up and kind of get some thoughts after Sam Pittman next week when you join us.
Sounds like a great idea, guys.
All right, Tom Murphy. Had fun with Tom the other night at the All-Star game. We shared a great experience over at Truist Park, about 10 miles or so. 10 miles or 45 minutes. It's whatever.
Either way.
Yeah.
All right, we've got more to get to here. SEC update coming up in just a bit. We're going to hear from Eli Drinkwitz on the other side.
All right, brought to you by Mock Legal Solutions. If you need an attorney that can help you through maybe one of the toughest times you're going through right now, Jackie's got over 13 years of experience, whether it's family law and divorce, or a custody issue, or something with a divorce maybe that's already final, but the other side's not living up to their end of the agreement. Maybe you've been in a car accident, or you've been injured at work. Maybe you just something as straightforward as a dog bite case. That those happen more frequently than you can imagine as well. Jackie's there for you. 2 locations, licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma, first of all. So no matter what side of the border you're listing on, Jackie can help you. And she has an office in Sallisaw and in Fort Smith. 479-769-1505 is the number. 769-1505 for Mock Legal Solutions, or go to mocklegalsolutions.com.
We're going to hear from Drink and more of your SEC update coming up next.
Being a part of the Southeastern Conference, it means more than you might think.
SEC Media Days on ESPN Arkansas is presented by the Stadium Shop on Razorback, the largest and best Razorback shop south of the North Pole. And by Lindbergh Real Estate Group, your #1 real estate team in Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-551-3241. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-551-3241. That's 800-551-3241. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risk to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
4. This is the Morning Rush.
The summer sales drive continues at Rath Auto Resources. Right now, save up to $6,000 off retail value on your next road-ready certified pre-owned vehicle, reconditioned and backed by limited warranty. We've got you covered for your service needs as well, with half-off brakes and special financing available for those larger repairs. With our live market painless pricing and non-commissioned sales staff, we're committed to taking the hassle out of buying a quality pre-owned vehicle in the River Valley. Just another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith. RathAutoFortSmith.com.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Equipment down, got a leak, lost pressure? Don't let hydraulic problems slow you down. At Central Hydraulics in Fort Smith, we've got the power to keep you moving. From hoses and fittings to full system repairs, our expert team delivers top quality service fast. Central Hydraulics specializes in hydraulic pumps, cylinders, and custom-built solutions, so you can get back to work. Heavy machinery, farming equipment, construction rigs, if it runs on hydraulics, we've got you covered. Visit Central Hydraulics today or call 479-646-0471 for fast, reliable service.
The
Tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Bred for the mud. Kawasaki Terex KRX 1000 and Terex KRX 41000 lifted edition side-by-sides come factory equipped to dominate wet and muddy conditions with ITP crypted mud tires, elevated dual snorkel air intakes, and Fox 2.5 LSC piggyback shocks. This edition is purpose-built for more mud-slinging good times. Now, weather doesn't stop the adventure. It inspires it.
Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Storm season is here. Is your roof ready? Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has wrecked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They have the #1 certainteed roofing company in Arkansas. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the tough there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally climbed the hill. It's the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Yeah, appreciate Mark Womack helping us with that first 6 games at home there. Obviously, it gives a new quarterback an opportunity to settle in a friendly environment. I mean, obviously, we've played pretty well at home. Our fans have done an incredible job since we've been there and developing that as a really home field advantage for us, and very appreciative of their support and believing in us. And obviously, when you turn us on TV, you're going to see a $250 million North End Zone complex that's being put up daily, and appreciate the work they've done there. The challenge for us, I didn't feel like last year, I feel like I let our team down by being unprepared to go to Texas A&M on the road. We were not, with the adjustment of the transfer portal and players, I don't think they understood the routine and what it was going to be, and we were a step slow in just about everything we did, starting with me in the decision-making processes and our players.
That was Eli Drinkowitz this morning talking about the upcoming season. Big C and me. Colton is off to Hardee's for the annual football trip of a lifetime, so I know he's really excited. I think we've already got 6 qualifiers already. So we have been flying up and down that. So make sure if you want to take advantage, you can stop by and see Colton today. Big C, it is wild to see what Missouri starts out with this season, where they don't leave Columbia until October 18th. You almost fell out of your chair yesterday on halftime. I was cracking up laughing.
It's not just one year. It's like every year.
Yep.
I mean, their non-conference is a cakewalk usually, and, they don't really – I mean, I guess they need the help, but so does Arkansas. I mean, we play all the tough teams, and there's nothing left for them to play, I guess.
Yeah. Big C, so you look at their schedule. So UCA, it's a Thursday night game. They get Kansas, the Border Wars back, Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns,
Wow.
South Carolina, UMass. Then they have a bye week.
UMass.
Yeah. Alabama, at Auburn, at Vanderbilt. So the road games are at Auburn, who I don't think is going to be that good.
No.
At Vanderbilt, don't think it'll 6-6 maybe. Arkansas, who I hope I'm wrong about. I hope they're better than 6-6, but I probably think that's about. And then at Oklahoma. Then they also have Texas A&M and Mississippi State sprinkled in. Man, I don't know how Missouri didn't win 9 games this fall based off their schedule alone, Big C.
Yeah,
and Drink's a good coach. I don't want to discredit Drinks. He's a good coach. I think we know that. But, man, they set themselves up.
Yeah, you'd think they'd probably be favored in maybe all but 2 of those. And, they do pretty good at winning the games they're supposed to. They don't really they haven't got upset a lot under Drink. So, yeah, it's looking like they've got they've got it all out in front of them, but you just got to go out and win.
All right, so Big C, I want to ask you this. Talking about SEC opponents, I want your take on this. Tommy gave his. So Texas is the number 1 opponent you want to be on your schedule. I think that's undisputed. I think consensus, it's Texas. Rare is it that you have a non-conference opponent that rises to number 2.
Yeah.
But I think Notre Dame is number 2 this year, followed by LSU. And then I would say Ole Miss. For me, it's still Texas A&M. I would take a win over Texas A&M and Fayetteville second, only by I would put Notre Dame up top, actually. Where's the ranking for you with Missouri?
Yeah.
Like in terms of games you want to win this season, where is Missouri on that list?
So they are they in your top 5? I would put them. Let's see. You definitely
They're probably like 6 for me.
You definitely want to beat Texas. You definitely want to beat Notre Dame. And then, man, I tell you what, just so A&M and Missouri, I kind of see them in the same
eye to eye.
Yeah, because you're having trouble beating those teams. But if I had to pick right now, yeah, I would probably go A&M 3 and then Missouri 4. Yeah, I mean, you got to start beating these guys. Not only will it help you wins and losses, and it's one of those games where, I mean, you're going to play them every year, and you don't want to say to yourself, man, every year, how are we going to beat Missouri? You just want to be able to almost not guarantee the win, but feel like you've got a really good shot in that game. And right now, it just seems like the luck and whatever else it isn't on your side.
It is not it has not been on your side whatsoever, unfortunately. All right, that is your SEC update live from SEC Media Days here in Atlanta, Georgia, College Football Hall of Fame. Thanks to the Stadium Shop on Razorback and Lindbergh Real Estate Team. Our SEC update this morning brought to you by Pradco Fishing. You can always go to LureNet.com. Yes, LureNet.com if you're looking for awesome deals with all the practicalers. We always get a chance to talk with Bruce Stanton. I don't know what Bruce and Tommy are going to be ranking next week, but that's always a fun conversation, our Pradco Pyramid of Power. And I know that we've got a lot of fishermen here listening in Arkansas or outside of Arkansas. Again, they have everything you made right here in Arkansas. Take advantage, again, the Booyah Mobster, designed right here in Arkansas, the Muddy Water Mob locally. It's won tournaments all over, whether it's Lake Darnell, Kerr Lake. You fish with it, there's going to be a good chance that you're catching something. Again, go to LureNet.com. It's also available in tackle stores and all over the place throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma. It's the Booyah Mobster from Pradco. We got Alyssa Lang coming up in just a bit. Get a chance to hear her perspective on Arkansas and the Southeastern Conference. Listen to Paul Feinbaum yesterday. Big C, I think you were listening to that clip, and Colton put up this great piece of audio of him talking about where Arkansas was. He's got a connection growing up in Memphis. And Tommy and I were talking off air. It's like, are we ever going to be heading into seasons from here on out saying, yeah, this team's going to win 10 or 11 games? I think that's a pipe dream.
Pre-NIL, he may have a better argument, but right now I don't see a path to it.
Yeah, it's just difficult, and it's hard to reconcile with that as an Arkansas fan, like you all are, and like I am, to remember just 15 years ago, you felt like you had a chance to not just be in Atlanta, Georgia, here for the SEC championship. You felt like you had a team that Louisiana, a place that you won against the number one team in the country 4 years ago, and you're up 14-0. And then, unfortunately, Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, completely wrecks that game. You lose by like 3 or 4 touchdowns. But, like, that's the – at one point in time, you felt like that school in football, no, but 9-10 range. Kind of like South Carolina is an interesting example. So I was talking with the buddy Elijah, who does sports radio in Columbia, and I was like, I would guess that the buzz in Columbia and across that state is unreal right now. And he said, yeah, it's the best since the Spurrier days. And I mean, you think about the Spurrier days when Arkansas went up against Spurrier, you think about one of the best coaches that this league has ever seen, and Petrino beat him a couple times. Like, that's just what it was like. So I hate that we look forward to that, like just one marquee win a year when under Petrino, 2 straight years, I feel like you got 3 or 4 or 5 of them. Under Nutt, you got a handful of them, and now I feel like it's just kind of one a year that we get to look forward to.
Who was that running back that they got from us last year? Raheem Sanders?
Rocket Sanders, yep.
And that was his last year, right?
Yep, last year.
Okay.
I don't think he got drafted. I think I got to go back and double check if he signed a free agent deal.
Because he was one of their best running backs last year, and they're going to have to replace that. Their O-line was okay. They still won 9 games. I mean, they kind of figured it out towards the end, and they were playing really good defense. They almost beat Alabama last year on the road.
And LSU. They should have beat Alabama.
They should have beat LSU.
Yep.
Yes, you're very correct there. They could have easily been 11-1. So, I mean, it does look like they kind of turned the corner last year, and you've got a returner in Sellers.
Yeah, Lenore Sellers. Mm-hmm.
And you know he's pretty highly touted right now as one of the best in the SEC. He's going to have to go out and earn it. But yeah, I like the way they're going, and if South Carolina can do it, Arkansas can do it.
They got Clemson. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, they do have Clemson, and that's a team that they've kind of struggled with lately, but they got them, I think, last year and maybe a year or two before that. That's kind of the key to them. If they're good enough to beat Clemson, they're good enough to be in the playoff most years.
We got Alyssa Lane coming up. Before we talk with her in just a few minutes, got to tell you about Gaston's. Tommy's right now with Sam Pittman, with Taylor Green, with Cam Ball, with Xavier Sorey. We'll get some audio for you coming up in just a bit here on halftime. Hopefully we get to live stream Sam Pittman's press conference as well. Might also get a chance to talk to those guys here on ESPN Arkansas. But all that's going to be on hitthatline.com and our Hit That Line Now app, powered by Taco Bell. Listen, Gaston's is a great place. The way I like to frame it to people is if I can fish, you can fish. I'm not kidding. Over 2 days, I got 23 fish. That's a credit to the guide. That's a credit to the honey hole that we were fishing in. It's an awesome time. I've had friends go to bachelor trips there. My parents like to go for the scenery. And you say, well, Tom, I want to see what it looks like. Well, go to their Facebook page. Go to Gaston's Facebook, watch a video, look at a photo, and tell me you don't want to take your son, your grandson, your nephew, your nieces, your daughter, your family. It's an awesome time. You can go eat at the restaurant, or you can eat at the cabin because most of them are fully equipped as well. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
Found out yesterday, by the way, your spine compresses. The older you get, you shrink with age.
Just found this out. This is the Morning Rush.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
It feels dirty. I feel used.
Yeah.
Feel used.
Yeah. For the first time in your life.
Yeah.
This is The Morning Rush.
Save up to $4,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
When you're craving serious burger goodness, head to Hardee's for the all-new barbecued pulled pork Frisco burger. A charbroiled, quarter-pound, 100% Angus beef patty, topped with 16 hours slow-smoked barbecued pulled pork on toasted sourdough. Only for a limited time at Hardee's. Get a free pulled pork Frisco burger when you download the app and join my rewards. The app for terms.
If it rumbles, roars, or needs a little more power, take it to Exhausted Muffler and Motorsports in Clarksville. From muffler and catalytic converter repair to full custom exhaust systems, they've got you covered. Need welding or mobile welding along with equipment repair? They do that too. Custom fabrication done right. Located at 215 East Taylor Road. For performance, precision, and power, it's Exhausted Muffler and Motorsports. Call today at 479-214-2729 or stop by today.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. If the weather has raked your roof and you need a roofing company you can trust, call my friends at Patriot Brothers Roofing. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and lifetime River Valley residents located in Van Buren.
Thanks, Matt. We are also the only roofing company in the River Valley that installs a full CertainTeed integrity roof system and registers a 50-year warranty directly with CertainTeed. Avoid the door knockers and storm chasers. We are local and we will be here long after the storm chasers are gone.
Check out PatriotBrothersRoofing.com or call 479-652-9479.
Patriot Brothers Roofing, because your home deserves only the best.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Golf Nut is thrilled to introduce new products for 2025, including Cobra Dark Speed Adapt Woods and Irons, Ping G440 Woods and Irons, and TaylorMade QI35 Woods. Lap putters, including the latest OZ model, are also available. Whether you want to improve your swing or enjoy the game, the Golf Nut offers a range of options. Book a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators and experience golfing greatness. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue for your ultimate golfing destination.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. Find the Children is a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted car. Call 1-800-294-0222. You'll receive the maximum tax deduction and we provide fast, free pickup. Call 1-800-294-0222. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Call 1-800-294-0222. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. You're listening to The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Everybody's talking at me.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. Take my call. Listen to you guys all the time on my drive. I'm going to have to lean towards Ty here.
I'm tired of the fans being fed a bunch of lies
disgusting garbage.
You know, you got this wonderful staff that you have. Great day to be a Razorback. You know, that's my hero. I want to be when I grow up.
I appreciate what you guys do.
Call or text the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area.
But
If
now,
you're a
get ready for the
licensee,
next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Mats.
Back here, Radio Row, SEC Media Days. Finally, Arkansas Day. We'll get a chance to hear from Sam Pittman, Taylon Green, Cam Ball, and Xavier Sori coming up in just a bit. But for now, we chat with Alyssa Lane, ESPN SEC Network. Alyssa, this is I know a lot of questions are always asked this week. What questions do you have of Arkansas heading into this season?
That in and of itself is a great question. I would be very curious to see or hear what Taylon Green's offseason looked like compared to this time last year. Going into year 2, obviously, we all know, having had some SEC experience, will feel different for Taylon Green. Him and Bobby Petrino, trial by fire last year and getting to know each other in SEC play, understanding what Taylon needs from Bobby, what this coaching staff needs to do in order to get the best out of Taylon. I would expect there to be adjustments made, and I'm curious what they are. I would expect Taylon to have taken some time after last season was over to say, okay, this is what surprised me about being a QB1 in this league. This is what I need to work on. I either need to get stronger, I need to work on my footwork. Whatever he feels like could make him more comfortable, that's what I would be most curious to hear, because I have high expectations for Taylon Green this year. I really do think that he's one of those quarterbacks that could take one of the biggest step forward relative to what he did a season ago.
I'm sure one of the questions Sam Pittman will address later today, one thing that Taylon's goes about is who's going to catch the football.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at the percentage of production, it's in the mid-upper 90s that's gone for Arkansas. And now with reports of Manuel Cisse's wrist being injured, I mean, there's a lot of questions as who will be the top 2 or 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, and the beauty and the detriment, I guess, of this time of year is we evaluate so much on familiar names that come back and the amount of production that comes back. And sometimes I'll tell fan bases, certainly in the situation that Arkansas was in last year with some high highs and low lows, sometimes you have addition by subtraction, right? And I'm not saying the guys who left were bad football players. Some of them stayed in the SEC, and I expect to be contributors on their new roster. But I even think about like this time last year and how we felt about the Vanderbilt Commodores. They lost their entire quarterback room, so much of that team, and you're going, who's even going to run out there for Vanderbilt? And then lo and behold, they have one of the best seasons in recent Vanderbilt history because of that addition by subtraction. So I do think that, knowing Sam Pittman and what he has done over the past few years, the caliber of player that he has recruited to Arkansas, whether it's out of high school or out of the portal, it's hard to sit with Sam Pittman for 5 minutes and not want to go play for that guy. I would expect that he has made some pretty great transfer portal pitches, and there will be maybe more for Arkansas than any other team, players that we have no idea even exist right now that will be names that we're talking about a lot in October.
Alyssa, if they ever do finally sort out revenue sharing and how it's all going to work and the limits on NIL, is that will that be something that narrows the gap for programs like Arkansas that are trying to get to the upper tier of this league? What do you think the end effect will be on this when it finally, is put into play?
It's a great question, because what does it even look like when it's finally, put into play, and how many changes are made? We've heard coaches all week this week talk about how we're still not even close to the end game of what this thing needs to look like. I have no doubt, though, that a program like Arkansas, with not only the passion that donors and big names around the program have for the program, would be in the perfect position for that gap to be narrowed, right? Arkansas is not one of those programs where I've ever worried, like, will they be able to keep up in the world of NIL? Now, decision-making will always be questioned by fan bases and what's happening in the program. And I know that Arkansas has not been immune to that, certainly over the past couple of weeks and past couple of months. But Arkansas is a program that has all the resources imaginable, that wherever we end up, that is not something that worries me about this program.
You mentioned resources, Alyssa. Do you have an opinion on how SEC institutions should have to divvy up their NIL, or not NIL, but revenue
It's an interesting question. I will say I'm nowhere near smart enough to give an opinion on what that should look like.
We aren't either, so that's why we asked you.
The one thing that does, worry me in the case of revenue sharing, and it's something that Kirby Smart brought up yesterday, the teams and the programs that aren't football and aren't basketball. You think of women's volleyball and soccer and track and field and all of those sports that are made possible because of revenue sharing and because of the money that is made from so many other sports, the opportunities that so many, especially female athletes, have due to what the money looks like in college sports will be something that is always important to me and is important to these head coaches as well. I can't tell you how many head football coaches in the SEC sit there in our Friday meetings and talk about money distribution and how important it is for them to be able to still see other sports, women's sports on their campus as well. So I don't have the solution, but that is something that I am always attuned to. How will this be? What will the trickle-down effect of this look like to other programs?
Anything stood out to you in the first 3 days of SEC Media Days? I know we're getting ready to move in here to our final day and hear from these coaches, but any of the coaches that, hey, what they said has really stuck with me?
That's a great question. I was talking a lot with the Georgia players on Tuesday, and I had an interview with Gunnar Stockton. I know it's not a coach to your question,
right,
but Gunnar had the biggest smile on his face. I kind of expected him to come in and maybe be a little bit nervous. How are you going to step in and be QB1 at the University of Georgia and replace Carson Beck? He was so excited to be there, and it was really palpable. It excited me a lot, and I understood some of the conversations that I've had with Kirby, and Kirby talking about, and the staff talking about how excited his teammates were when Gunnar had an opportunity to lead this team into the postseason. It wasn't really, I couldn't really see it until here at Media Days when I could feel the energy of Gunnar and how he talked about how much he cares about this team. So that was something that stuck out to me that was really cool. Also having some conversations with the Tennessee attendees who were here after the tumultuous offseason of Nico Iamaleava, saying, hey, Josh Heupel said no one's bigger than the Power T. What does that look like for the culture of your program? And listening to the guys talk about the message that was sent to the locker room and how they want guys that are not bigger than Tennessee and not bigger than the program. And it was refreshing with all the conversation about NIL and revenue sharing and things like that. So those are two things that I would say from my interviews have stuck out.
Nobody loves a good rumor like SEC Media Days. Nick Saban's kind of been in the chatter this week and returned to coaching. You get to work in and around and work with his teammates. He's on your team.
Yeah.
What would you say about Nick Saban and a possible return to coaching? And what kind of teammate is he with you at ESPN and the SEC Network?
He's great. He was great to work with when he was at Alabama, and we would be in our meetings on Friday preparing. I've never learned more in a Friday meeting than sitting with Nick Saban and talking ball. So when he joined the ESPN team, it was tremendous. I can't speak to the rumor. Craig McElroy obviously brought that up. I'm sitting here going, well, from everything I've heard, seen, and that he has said, he's enjoying his job at College Game Day and being able to go golf and get on the boat and all that good stuff. So I will say, if there's ever any truth to that, I think there will be a lot of coaches across the country who go, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I thought we were rid of this guy. But from what I understand, he's really enjoying this next chapter of life. So it may be just that, just a rumor.
All right, Alyssa, we'll leave it there. Alyssa Lane, ESPN SEC Network, kind enough to join us on Radio Row. Appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me.
All right, good stuff from Alyssa Lang here from Radio Row SEC Media Days. Ryan in Hot Springs had called earlier on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. We're able to get to him. Ryan, if you want to try and call back tomorrow, we'll be back in the Busch Light Studios tomorrow. Tommy and I traveling back to Tulsa tonight. Probably get home about 10:30 or so. So excited to be back in the natural state. One of the things I might have to do on Friday is give me some Joe's Grill and Cantina. Man, oh man, always a great spot at Joe's. Taco Tuesday is always a great deal. They've always got live music, but they've got specials like today, Throwback Thursday. You've got Kuko's Classics. Like, a lot of people are familiar with Kuko's, used to be the restaurant there, and you can take advantage of those. The house-made salsa, which is made fresh daily. It's fantastic. Hey, listen, they put carrots in there. It's really good. Their fajitas are always good. I'm a big fan of the fajita burrito and the shrimp quesadilla. So when you stop by Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith, you're always going to get something great. 3400 South 74th Street across from Harps in Fort Smith. So, Christian, coming up on halftime, you guys are going to have some stuff. Tommy is probably getting close to wrapping up with Sam Pittman, Xavier Sori, and also Taylor Green. So we'll get a chance to, and Cam Ball as well, get a chance to hear from those guys coming up on halftime. And, heck, maybe even Ruskin and Zach play some of it as well.
Yeah, gonna be good to hear from those guys and kind of get, you didn't have a spring game this year, so kind of get a little bit more of an idea of these guys and what their plan is going forward. And I want to hear from Pittman again. It's always good to hear from the head hog.
Yeah, it's been a while too. You feel like it's just been a while hearing from them. So again, get a chance to take advantage. And I'm going to be honest, Big C, my screen just disappeared, so you might have to give me a countdown on how long 20 seconds. All right, until we get out of here. All right, so for Tommy Kraft, Colton Little, who's at Hardee's right now, and Big C, Ty Richardson, halftime, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Big C coming up next.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate